In the enduring words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Such timeless wisdom serves as a guiding principle in our exploration of Stoicism and its perspective on individuals who may pose challenges to our journey along the Stoic path. As we delve deeper into the Stoic lens, we find resonance with the familiar adage that suggests one is the average of the 5 people they spend the most time with. This video seeks to unfold 7 archetypes of individuals who might hinder our Stoic progress and unravel strategies for navigating these intricate relationships. Number 1. The drama magnet. Our first character for examination is the drama magnet, an individual whose life seems to be a constant whirlpool of crises, conflicts, and controversies. Much like navigating a ship through a storm, being in their sphere can be exhausting and perilous. Stoicism suggests techniques such as reflective listening and selective unavailability. Reflective listening is a Stoic-inspired technique that involves mirroring back the sentiments expressed by the drama magnet without necessarily taking sides or offering advice. This approach allows one to provide emotional support without becoming entangled in the drama itself. Another strategy, albeit seemingly counterintuitive, is selective unavailability. Stoicism reminds us to value our time highly. Being selectively unavailable for other people's recurring crises becomes essential, especially if these disturbances lack resolution. To paraphrase Seneca, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This sentiment becomes particularly helpful when dealing with drama magnets. Instead of anxiously wondering about the next crisis, concentrate on the present moment where you have control. By doing so, you can enjoy your life without letting it be disrupted by someone else's drama. Number 2. The naysayer. Moving forward, we confront the naysayer, the individual whose persistent aura of doubt and negativity casts shadows on our endeavors. Stoicism provides unconventional yet effective methods for dealing with naysayers, such as seeking their advice or employing positive confrontation. By discerning valuable input from mere noise and maintaining our self-assured vision, we navigate the Stoic path with resilience. Imagine you're an artist, excitedly painting a canvas, each brushstroke adding color and life to your vision. Enter the naysayer, casting doubts on your choices and dulling the vibrancy of your creation. This isn't constructive criticism, it's a persistent aura of doubt and negativity. How do you deal with a naysayer, especially if they might be someone close to you? One unconventional but effective method is to ask them for advice rather than just sharing your plans or aspirations. When people are put in an advisory role, they're less likely to attack your ideas outright and may offer more constructive feedback. Another approach involves positive confrontation. Instead of absorbing their negativity, challenge them to think of solutions. For example, if they say, "You'll never be able to switch careers at this stage," counter with, "Interesting perspective. How do you think someone could successfully make a career change then?" Stoicism encourages us to remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening in this context doesn't mean absorbing everyone's negativity. It means discerning valuable input from mere noise. When naysayers start to cloud your canvas with their shades of doubt, take a step back, listen, reflect, and continue painting your own life with the colors that speak to you. Don't let anyone turn your vibrant masterpiece into a dull gray landscape. Number 3, the complainer. Moving on, we have the complainer, an individual who consistently finds fault in various aspects of life. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of focusing on actionable solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Suppose you find yourself entangled with a chronic complainer. In that case, Stoic strategies such as limiting exposure, mentally distancing oneself during complaints, and steering conversations towards solutions align with Stoic principles. To delve deeper into this, let's consider a practical scenario. Imagine collaborating on a project with a perpetual complainer. Each meeting turns into an exhausting session of complaints without constructive dialogue. The impact on the team's morale is substantial, sidetracking from actionable solutions and potentially leading to disenchantment with the project and life in general. Stoicism, in such instances, encourages strategies such as limiting exposure whenever possible, mentally distancing oneself during complaints, and steering conversations towards constructive solutions. To quote Marcus Aurelius, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This timeless Stoic wisdom reminds us to guard our mental peace diligently, ensuring that chronic complainers' negativity doesn't deviate us from our Stoic path of resilience and virtue. Number 4. The victim. Our exploration takes us to the next character, the victim, the individual who attributes every setback to external forces, refusing to take responsibility for their actions. While acknowledging genuine hardships, Stoicism guides us to practice compassionate detachment, showing empathy without becoming perpetual problem solvers. Imagine life as a game of chess, where each player has the same pieces and the same goal, to checkmate the opponent's king. You think strategically, make sacrifices, and take risks. The victim, however, blames the board, the pieces, or even their opponent for every poor move they make. In their narrative, they're perpetually in checkmate, not because of their choices, but because of some external force working against them. Some people genuinely face hardships and systemic issues. However, the victim we're discussing uses their predicament as a permanent excuse, refusing to take any responsibility for their actions or lack thereof. You might find yourself entangled in their storyline, perhaps as the supporting character who constantly needs to rescue them. If you've spent countless hours listening to a friend blame their endless string of failed relationships entirely on their ex-partners, not only does this consume your time, but it can subtly encourage you to adopt a similar victim mindset in your own life. How do you deal with a victim, especially when it might be tempting to become their savior, offering endless advice and emotional support? Stoicism would caution against this. It recommends drawing a firm boundary to protect your own mental state. You could employ a technique known as compassionate detachment, showing empathy and kindness, but refraining from becoming their perpetual problem solver. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." If you find yourself sucked into the victim's narrative, resist the urge to become one yourself. Take control of your own game board, make your moves, and remember, in the chess game of life, being perpetually in checkmate is often a choice, not a fate. Keep your pieces moving forward, make strategic sacrifices when necessary, and play not for revenge or pity, but for growth and wisdom. Number 5, the toxic positivist. In our 5th encounter, we meet the toxic positivist, the person who dismisses challenges with excessive positivity, potentially invalidating our feelings and experiences. Stoicism advises engaging in discussions that embrace both light and shadow, cultivating emotional granularity, and embracing life's complexity with equanimity. Imagine your life as a garden, with flowers and weeds coexisting. The toxic positivist insists on ignoring anything that isn't a blooming rose, dismissing challenges with a flippant wave of glittery optimism. While it sounds uplifting, their approach can make you feel invalidated and disconnected from the realities of life's challenges. Suppose you're going through a tough breakup, feeling sad and confused, seeking emotional balance. The toxic positivist's advice is likely to be, "There are plenty of fish in the sea, just smile and be happy." This excessive positivity neglects the complexities of human emotion and the realities of life's challenges. How do you cultivate your garden without letting the toxic positivist trample it with their indiscriminate sprinkling of good vibes only? One strategy is to engage them in a discussion that embraces both light and shadow. If they say, "Look on the bright side, at least you have your health," you could reply, "Yes, I'm grateful for my health, but it's also okay for me to feel upset about this specific issue. Both can coexist." You can also employ what psychologists call emotional granularity, the ability to feel and differentiate between a wide range of emotions, both positive and negative. When the toxic positivist pushes you to just be happy, take a moment to acknowledge and label your nuanced feelings. "I'm feeling a bit melancholic today due to X, and that's okay," can be a liberating affirmation. To reference Stoic thought, Seneca once said, "True happiness is to understand our duties toward God and man, to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Notice the balance, understanding duties, which aren't always pleasant, and enjoying the present. A Stoic approach isn't about focusing solely on the positive or the negative. It's about embracing life's complexity with equanimity. The next time the toxic positivist sprinkles their confetti on your carefully tended garden, take a step back, remember that a garden needs both sunshine and rain to flourish, and embrace your full emotional spectrum. Keep nurturing your garden with the richness and complexity it deserves. Before we move on to number 6 on our list, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to never miss out any of our videos about Stoicism and the way you can master your life. Number 6. The time vampire. Stoicism encourages us to live with purpose, ensuring that every moment contributes to the harmonious masterpiece we strive to create. When confronted with a time vampire, consider the cost of each interaction in terms of its impact on your overall composition. Let's say a colleague constantly interrupts your workflow. This not only disrupts your immediate task, but also fragments your concentration, affecting the quality and efficiency of your work. Applying the Pomodoro technique in this scenario becomes a shield, protecting your most productive intervals from being drained by constant interruptions. However, not all time vampires are external. Sometimes we unknowingly become time vampires to ourselves through procrastination or by engaging in activities that don't align with our long-term goals. In such cases, Stoicism advises us to practice self-discipline and focus on what truly matters. Seneca, in his timeless wisdom, reminds us, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Reflect on your daily activities and commitments. Are they contributing to your overall life symphony, or are they merely discordant notes that distract from the melody you wish to create? In addition to the Pomodoro technique, another Stoic principle relevant to time management is the practice of saying no. Time is a finite resource, and every commitment you make is a choice to allocate a portion of that resource. Saying no is not a rejection, it's a recognition of your priorities. If a friend invites you to an event that doesn't align with your goals or values, it's perfectly acceptable to decline. As Epictetus wisely noted, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. In the context of time management, this means being intentional about the commitments we accept. Whether the time vampire is external or internal, The Stoic approach involves purposeful living. Guard your time as you would a valuable treasure, allocating it to activities that contribute meaningfully to your life's masterpiece. The Pomodoro technique, combined with the art of saying no, empowers you to conduct your daily symphony with focus, efficiency, and harmony. Number 7. The manipulator. On number 7, we have the manipulator, the subtle script rewriter in the movie of our lives. Stoicism encourages responses that differ from the predictable reactions the manipulator thrives on. Techniques like fogging and setting clear boundaries empower us to reclaim control of our narrative, ensuring our story aligns with our values and decisions. Picture your life as a movie script, with you as the main character. You have an idea of how your story should unfold, the twists, the allies, and the final act. Enter the manipulator, the shadowy producer who subtly rewrites your script without you even realizing it until you find your storyline has veered off course. The manipulator is skilled in the art of emotional or psychological maneuvering. They might use flattery, guilt trips, or even deceit to steer you in a direction that benefits them. You might have a friend who always manages to get you to pay for dinner by saying something like, "You know, I've been having a rough month and you're so successful. It wouldn't mean much to you, but it would make my day better." Over time, you find that your generosity has been taken advantage of, but calling them out feels uncomfortable because they framed it as a favor to a friend in need. Handling a manipulator can be a tricky business. One method to counteract their tactics is what some experts call fogging. This technique involves agreeing with any truth in the manipulator's statements, but refusing to be moved by emotional coercion. If they say, "You're so successful, you should cover dinner," you could respond, "You're right that I've been doing well, but let's split the bill as we usually do." Another approach is to set clear boundaries and enforce them. If the manipulator wants you to lend them money or commit to tasks you're uncomfortable with, learn to say no assertively. Keep your tone calm and your words clear. "I can't lend money, but I'm here to offer emotional support." Drawing inspiration from Stoic thought, Epictetus warned us, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." The manipulator thrives on your predictable reactions. They manipulate your kindness, your guilt, or your desire for approval. By choosing to respond differently, you're taking control of your script again. If you find a manipulator lurking in your life, remember that you're the one holding the pen. Your storyline is yours to write, and while the cast may include a variety of characters, the protagonist's journey, your journey, should always be guided by your own values and decisions. Reclaim your script and don't let anyone manipulate your life's narrative. Conclusion: in the end, it's essential to recognize that individuals embodying these traits are not necessarily villains in the story of our lives. They are, like all of us, navigating their unique journeys, shaped by their experiences, fears, and aspirations. Stoicism, with its enduring wisdom, equips us with practical strategies to navigate these complex interpersonal dynamics, whether it's limiting exposure to chronic complainers, employing reflective listening with drama magnets, seeking advice from naysayers, practicing compassionate detachment with victims, embracing emotional granularity with toxic positivists, countering manipulation through fogging, or protecting your time from vampires. Stoicism offers a nuanced toolkit. Ultimately, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate resilience, wisdom, and virtue in the face of life's challenges and diverse personalities. The journey along the Stoic path is not about isolating ourselves from others, but about engaging with the world in a way that aligns with our values and promotes our well-being. As you encounter these archetypes in your life, remember the words of Seneca: "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." By applying Stoic principles, you empower yourself to respond to these archetypes with wisdom, maintaining your inner tranquility and staying true to the Stoic ideals of virtue and personal growth. Click here to watch the 10 lessons to handle disrespect. See you there in a second. Be Stoic. Stay Stoic.